Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Anime One back here with a new video, and today I'm here with a new what if of what if Naruto was betrayed and had Sukuna's powers. So if you guys like the content in the channel, please subscribe to the channel, and while you're at it, also like this video. So without any delay, let's begin the video. He gulped, seeing the monster in front of him. He was the one who created it, as there were more than 1,000 shinobi behind him. But the only weird thing was, they were dead, as the man smirked. "Looks like this is it for you, father," said the man as Minato looked at him. The memories flooded into his mind. Death of so many people, so many comrades, and the one who did it was the man standing in front of him. "Looks like this is the only option I have left." The fourth Hokage thought as he went through hand sign. "Reaper Death Seal," he said, as the man, now his appearance revealed, grinned. "Summoning the Reaper. Interesting, Minato. Interesting. In return, I will give you my all. Let's see who's faster." Yellow flash of the leaf. The man with pink hair, one side of his face was disoriented, and he had 4 eyes and hands and 2 mouths as he smiled. "Domain expansion. Malevolent shrine," he said as Minato and the boy, now known as Naruto, screamed. "This is where your life ends, Naruto," Minato said, as with one last scream. But how did it come to this point? What caused this? It all began 17 years ago. "Minato, this is a horrible plan," Hiruzen Sarutobi said, as he was holding Naruto, whose eyes were open slightly as he seemed to look at the man who was holding him. He had pink hair unlike his other sibling, Natsumi, had red hair. "You can't just abandon one child so that you can train the rest. I don't care if she has the yin part of the Nine-Tails chakra seal in her." He started yelling until little Naruto started crying. He bounced the child up and down to soothe the baby. There, child, old man Hiruzen has you." Minato sighed as he saw his oldest son in Sarutobi's arms. "I must, Hiruzen. He needs to learn how to control the Nine-Tails chakra." "I'm sorry," Minato said. It was a hard choice to leave his son behind, but in his mind it was necessary. And what he told Hiruzen was a lie. Minato had sealed the soul of the Kyuubi inside Naruto, and saw Naruto as the Kyuubi itself. But Hiruzen couldn't stop Minato, as Minato, along with his wife and kid, left the village, as the info of Minato being alive was only known to a few people in the entire village. 13 years later. You guys are telling me," Tsunade started, "that you guys faked your deaths so that you could train Natsumi without any unwanted distractions." She growled at the last part. At the newly ordered or discovered 4th Hokage, his wife Kushina, and their unnamed daughter, Natsumi, the Toad Sage Jiraiya. "Are you saying that Naruto's unwanted distraction, Minato?" she asked. "No, Tsunade, that's not it at all. After the Kyuubi attack, we knew that our man in the orange mask would come back, and we needed the element of surprise." The Kage could see that Tsunade was getting angrier by every second that passed. "Then why the hell didn't you take both of them? And even then, why did you even bother to visit him? At least once." She was close to punching him and Jiraiya, who knew about this entire thing all along, and as well as they were expecting coming back, expecting everything to be okay. "Tsunade," Kushina interrupted. "We knew if we did, we wouldn't be able to go through with the plan." "You didn't answer my first question, Kushina." The fiery redhead was suddenly quiet, and averted her gaze from the Hokage. Tsunade then turned her gaze towards Minato, who did the same thing. Her eyes widened, and not being able to call back anymore, she punched Minato in the face, sending him flying and crashing into the other end of the room. "Are you serious? The reason that you left him there in Konoha is so that Konoha could have a Jinchuriki? What kind of reason is that? Do you have any idea as to how the villagers treated him? I swear, if you guys think Naruto will just welcome you with open arms, then you better think again." Tsunade then started out of the room, seething in anger, but then Tsunade felt chains restrain her. Kushina, what's the meaning of this? She asked. As Kushina smiled, taking back the throne of Hokage belonging to Minato, and not only that, we'll execute the Kyuubi today. She said as Tsunade's eyes widened. She couldn't use her chakra because of the chains. If you separate your head from your body, your 100 healings will be useless, Minato said as he put his kunai to her throat. This is where the real game begins, Tsunade. Minato said as Tsunade looked at Jiraiya, who refused to look at her. You damn old geezer. No wonder Sensei always thought of you as a damn failure. Seeing the woman that you love dying right in front of your eyes and doing nothing. She said as Jiraiya said nothing. Jiraiya Sensei knows the best, and he will do what is necessary for Konoha. Minato said as with a swing of his hand, he separated Tsunade's head from her body. As someone was watching this entire scene unfold, we need to tell Toby about this immediately. Sasuke, you're coming back to Konoha to face judgment of desertion and treason. So Naruto tied Sasuke's limbs together and prepared to make a long trek back to his village. By the time that Naruto had arrived at the village, he had successfully suppressed Sasuke's personality and physical trait, so he was back to his blonde self and currently very proud of himself for completing his second A rank mission. But as soon as he stepped into the gates to Konoha, Sasuke was plucked out of his grasp by Kakashi and gave the blonde, or the pink hair, boy a chop at the back of his neck. The only words that Naruto could mutter was, "Why?" Naruto woke up fuzzy, voices like radio with terrible reception and supremely light-sensitive eyes. Soon enough, everything came into focus, and he was simply sitting in a chair in the center of the Konoha Council Hall, and much yelling was going around him. Straight out execution is far too merciful to this stupid little shit. He almost entered the Uchiha line. The slow fucker needs to die a long and slow, agonizing death. Why waste time to trying to torture this brat when he can spend all eternity burning in the pits of deepest hell? No need to delay him for his long overdue death. Those were only a few samples to those two sides of ideals that were going on, and neither boded well for our pink-haired hero. Everyone quieted down when the door swung open to reveal a stone-faced Minato and Jiraiya. They both looked and took their respective seats, and everyone faced Naruto seated in the middle. Many whispers and gasps floated amongst the room as people started upon a supposedly long dead figure and his family. Greetings, Honorable Council. It is true that I, Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage, had faked my death along with my wife and daughter to move into the exile as to not trigger the legendary rage of the Kyuubi. With the Kyuubi mollified for a few years, enabled the Jinchuriki seal to my former son and the Biju, and the only way when they were finally fully combined could I ever return to the village and finally slay the Biju once and for all. With all the pieces finally coming into place, his name being read as the Namikaze and the Yondaime himself saying that he was his former son, Naruto surged from his seat with a scream intent on causing some sort of bodily harm to repay his father for leaving him stuck with the Kyuubi. But he didn't get even more than 2 steps in before a green light shot from his necklace and bound his arms and legs. And head from moving, Minato chuckled, seeing Naruto lying on the throne struggling against the chakra balance. I'm glad that the necklace, even after all this time, still keeps the demon chakra contained. Your execution will be a long and good one. I'll personally see to it. I've waited 13 years in exile waiting for this time, where I can return to my people, and tomorrow I shall enjoy finally ridding the world of the Kyuubi once and for all. And with that, he walked up to Naruto, and as he knelt down into a kneeling position, Minato kneeled to be on eye level with Naruto as he said, "Enjoy your last hours on the earth, Kyuubi, and if my son is able to hear me, I would like to humbly thank you and apologize for what I will do, But what the hell? My first son died when I started the fusion with the demon. Minato stood straight and grabbed the back of Naruto's head and brought the younger blonde's face to his, quickly moving his knee and resounding the crack from the sudden breaking of nose, and then grinding nose as he ground and kneeled down to the ground and shattered bone cartilage. Blood quickly escaped from his broken skin and poured down Naruto's face. He didn't make a sound through the entire ordeal, resolved not to let them see the pain that he felt on the inside. The powerful blow had caused his brain to bruise and swell, forcing him into unconsciousness. The next day in Konoha, the streets were flooded with people. An announcement called for an attendance of the village inhabitants. In the open marketplace, everyone was waiting for what the Hokage had gathered them for. Soon enough, Anbu walked into the square and with a quick cry, "Wood style!" A large stage of gallons were erected and the Hokage marched onto the stage. Gazing over the crowd, Minato picked up each face and smiled when he saw the entire populace showed up, bar the ninjas on the mission and the villagers out on business. He addressed the gathered people. "People of Konoha, today I stand before you as your Hokage. But without you all, there would be no Konoha. Together, we are unstoppable. 15 years ago, the Kyuubi attacked our home, and we would not yelled. We brought the demon down to its knees today, and we see the final step into the death of the Kyuubi and raise ourselves above all others superior to all." During his speech, there were chants and praises of loyalty. "Konoha," the crowd screamed, getting worked into frenzy. "Each ninja that fell to the beast will never die. They are not dead. They live in us. They live in Konoha." Roars of cheers of defending and thinking was made, but all impossible to the intrusion of the cheering. "Bring out the demon," Minato demanded. Naruto was bound by hands behind his back and the Sandaime's necklace securely tied around his neck to prevent any resistance. He was pleated up with food, trash, rocks, anything that the crowd could get their hands on. He made it to the stage and was knelt on the edge before the crowd. Naruto was the crowd as everybody he knew screamed the chants of Konoha and murderer were some of the loudest. Minato stepped next to Naruto as he brought Naruto to the crowd to a dull roar as he continued his speech. "People of Konoha, here is the Kyuubi fused with a human into death. Today we shall carve our revenge for each man and woman torn away from us. Today we will send it to the depths of abyss to suffer in all eternity of pain." The Anbu lead Naruto over to the rope hanging from the gallons, and it secured it, his neck fairly tight. With a single rope was pulled from the other end, and Naruto was yanked into the air and lowered back a standing position and was jerked back into the air and held for half a minute. Seconds from passing out, they lowered him back and undid the noose. Minato spoke again. "The Kyuubi so long ago stomped upon our noble people and watched the lives leave their eyes. And now I shall watch the life leave its eyes." With that, the Anbu picked up Naruto, almost comatose, and nailed him down at the feet of the Namikaze. Minato brought one of his infamous three-pronged kunai and from his pouch and set it to the throat of Naruto. A quick splash, to Minato's surprise, a white man appeared in front of him and took Minato's blunt force attack head on, as there was a swirling vortex which appeared as Minato narrowed his eyes at the man that appeared in front of him. "You," he said. "Well, I wouldn't mind you killing your own son, but this one is special. His paying curious would have rung a bell to Kushina, but oh well," he said as Naruto was sucked into his eyes as soon as the masked man disappeared before Minato could do anything. "Anbu, I want you to search each and every place in the village. That guy's the same guy that attacked the village 13 years ago. I never expected him to be the one to save the damn demon," Minato thought. Naruto opened his eyes to see he was outside Konoha. His heart hurt like absolute shit as the memories flooded into his mind, everything that happened as he grabbed his head and started to breathe heavily as tears started to drop out of his eyes. Why am I still alive? Naruto said as his tone sounded completely broken. Because you have too much to accomplish. Naruto looked in front of him to see a masked man looking at him. Naruto smiled painfully. Accomplished something big. And me, don't joke around, man. My own family abandoned me because of what I carry. There was silence. That they did, but they don't realize the potential that you hold. But I, on the other hand, do. That's why I saved you. The masked man said as Naruto looked at him as the man continued. Well, specifically, because of your pink hair was the reason why I was able to find out that you hold Akeke Genkai. He said as Naruto's eyes widened. Me, Akeke Genkai? And Naruto said, as the man nodded. You're from the famed Uzumaki clan that was destroyed in the Second Great Shinobi War due to their immense power, but people during this era, many don't know this, but during Warring States period, there was one Uzumaki, in specific that had pink hair just like you, and Madara and Hashirama Senju had to band together in order to kill him. Naruto's eyes widened as he started to connect the dots. The man had enormous chakra levels, even for a Uzumaki, and his physical powers were above the average. Ring a bell, Naruto looked at his hand. You mean, as the masked man continued, you have the potential to become the most powerful ninja in the world. The masked man said as Naruto narrowed his eyes at the man. Why would you help me? Let me guess. You need my power in order to achieve something, don't you? The masked man chuckled. Well, you're right about that. My goal is to achieve world peace and bring about equality in this world so that no more Naruto Uzumaki can be created anymore. Don't you think that's good enough of a reason? The masked man said as Naruto looked at him. Very well then. This ability that you talk about. What it is exactly, and how can I achieve it? Naruto asked. The masked man stood up and grabbed Naruto's shoulder. I'll show you where you can find all your answers to your questions, the masked man said as they both vanished in a swirling vortex. Naruto looked at the land that was once inhabited by its clansmen. He looked around the place. Does it make you angry to see your homeland like this? Toby asked the boy as the boy shook his head. Never knew them, so why should I care? Naruto said as Toby nodded. Then what about the poor people from Konoha? Toby asked as Naruto looked at Toby. Don't care anymore, or rather, I want them all dead. I'm done playing nice, Naruto said as Toby smiled under his mask. Then they both entered a cave, as Toby told Naruto to put his palm on the cave entrance as the gate to the cave opened, as there were many books there. These are all the sealing and knowledge that Uzumaki had, and the enemy couldn't enter the seal because you need an Uzumaki to open the cave. As Toby walked to a specific book, this book is the only one that emits chakra, he said as he signaled Naruto to come closer and pull the book. As Naruto did, the book self-turned and there was a scroll with a shrine written on it. As there it was, Toby smiled as he looked at the scroll. That scroll is the answer to all of your questions. Naruto walked forward and took the scroll. And as Naruto touched the scroll, a barrier around Naruto appeared. What? Toby thought, as he tried to break through the barrier but it wouldn't budge. What in the world is going on? Toby thought. As with Naruto, he was standing there with the scroll in his hand, as a red glow was coming off of him. In Naruto's mindscape, Naruto was in front of a man who had markings across his body and a face. Oh, so you are my successor, the man said as he sounded a little disappointed. I take it you were the previous user to the Akeke Genkai, Naruto said as a figure in front of him smirked. Well, looks like you aren't as bad as I thought. However, you have so much more to accomplish, the man said as Naruto looked at him. What's your name? Naruto asked as the figure smiled. Sukuna. Ryomen Sukuna. The man said as Naruto nodded. So why am I in this weird place? Naruto asked the man, who looked at the boy with an ominous grin, to make you have the knowledge on all our techniques. You'll have to train in order to master it, but you'll have the basic knowledge of the techniques. The scroll contains the instructions to use the technique, doesn't it? Naruto asked. Sukuna replied, no, the scroll doesn't contain the information on it. The scroll is designed so that the next user that touches the scroll will gain the knowledge to use the techniques. And the scroll has a seal that cannot be broken even down by the Sharingan, meaning the information about the technique can be leaked even among our own clansmen. Naruto finished the sentence and Sukuna smirked. Well then, my time has come to an end. After I vanish, you'll wake up in the real world with the knowledge on the technique of the Kekkei Genkai, named Shrine. As Naruto opened his eyes, the barrier went down and Toby rushed towards the boy. As Naruto was in a daze, as Toby looked at the boy, aware as Naruto blinked a few times. So, what happened? Toby asked. As Naruto looked at him. Well, apparently, the scroll has a seal which automatically grants me the knowledge on the technique. Is that so? Meaning the scroll is completely useless now? Toby asked as Naruto nodded. So, what's the plan? Toby asked as Naruto, whose hair was down, gained marking on his body. As his eyes turned red, he lifted up his hair. Right now, train, master all my abilities, and then Naruto looked up, his red eyes looking at the ceiling. Destroyed the village, hidden in the leaves. As Toby smiled seeing that. That's what I like to hear, he thought in his mind. Time skip. 2 years later, Naruto and Zetsu were going on a mission that they were getting paid a pretty good amount for, and that was to kill the 4th Mizukage Yagura, the container of the three-tailed beast. As they arrived at the gates of the Mist Village, there were guards. They are from Yagura's side. Feel free to get rid of them. Not a single word was needed, as both the guards instantly lost their head as their body dropped limp on the ground. Not a single noise was made. As both people wearing the Akatsuki clothing entered the village, as they were surrounded. Are they allies or friends? Naruto asked as Zetsu said that they were from Mei's side. So, you're the Akatsuki, huh? We paid a pretty hefty amount for you to do this mission, and this is what we get? A kid? The one who said this was a man with an eye patch over his eye, as before he even realized the man's eye patch fell off. Ah, a Byakugan. How interesting. And Naruto said as Ao was in shock. When did? Before you speak, know your damn place. I'm more than capable of carrying out this mission. Naruto said as he looked at Ao, as Ao knew that this kid was now different. Now, we don't want the people who are helping us to get mad at us, do we? Came out an extremely attractive woman, as she was the leader of the rebellion, Mei Terumi. She was the leader of the rebellion faction as Naruto turned to her. By your chakra levels, you're probably the strongest and the leader of the rebellion, right? Naruto asked as Mei had a surprised look on her face as she nodded. So, can you brief us on the situation? Naruto said as Mei nodded, and then the three entered. Naruto, Zetsu, and Mei went inside a camp. As Mei explained the situation to Naruto, as Naruto would nod. I see, I understand. So the real goal is to get Yagura out. He wasn't even shown his face during this entire war. Naruto asked as she nodded as Naruto stood up. It will be done. Get your troops ready. Naruto said as Mei stood up. What do you mean? She asked. Don't ask your questions. Do as you're said. Mei clenched her fist. Who did this brat think he was? But before she could say anything, Naruto vanished and appeared in Yagura's territory. As he flexed his chakra, and the ninjas there surrounded him. Approx, there were around 100. There were 100 of them, as before they could do anything, all of them were sliced in half. As Naruto continued to walk forward. What the hell is up with that kid? One of the ninjas said, as anything that came close to Naruto was sliced in half. And as soon, Yagura's personal envoy came to the scene. Hey you've killed over 500 of our men. The man, or the person who looked like the envoy captain said. Well, Naruto said as he jumped, as there was an envoy underneath the ground and that tried to stab Naruto, but the sword was cut into small pieces. and soon there was a scream of the man that was under the ground, as it could be heard. Well, you see, my intentions are clear. Bring Yagura here and I'll stop. Or do you want more if you're meant to die? The Anbu captain stepped up. Inform Yagura-sama about this. I'll hold him off until he comes here. The Anbu captain went through hand sign. Hit and miss jutsu, he said as Naruto yawned. So boring, Naruto thought as he ducked under the sword attack that was supposed to take his head off. As mid-air, Naruto grabbed the Anbu's hand and pulled him as he created a Rasengan and slammed it in the Anbu's face. As the Anbu dropped dead, with his head completely gone, as Naruto smiled. Ah, so the big bad boss has finally arrived, huh? It only took 600 of her men to get killed, Naruto said as he grinned, seeing Yagura there. Hey boy, Yagura said, as he started to get surrounded with red chakra and appeared in front of Naruto. As Naruto grabbed Yagura's punch as the ground beneath him exploded. Biju chakra, huh? Naruto thought, as he disappeared and punched Yagura. Dismantle, Naruto said, as Yagura had 2 deep cuts in his body, but they healed instantly, as Yagura and Naruto connected fists as they both were sent flying, as Naruto was the one who came out first out of the rubble. The cuts were somewhat shallow. I guess the chakra cloak reduced the effect. No, it's something else, Naruto thought, as then he saw white demonic eyes as Yagura had entered stage 2 of the Biju cloak. Naruto flicked his finger as blood gushed out of Yagura's chest, but in the second, Yagura grabbed Naruto by the face and threw him, as Naruto grinned. Now you're talking, Naruto said, as he blocked Yagura's attack and tossed him in the stomach, as Yagura's entire body exploded into blood. But he stood up as Yagura roared as a huge amount of chakra was released, as there it was, the T-tailed demon, as Naruto smiled. I have been wanting to try this technique, but I didn't have anyone who could even stand this mantle. But now... Naruto said as he joined his hand in a weird sign. Domain expansion. Malevolent shrine, Naruto said. The shrine appeared behind Naruto, and then the assault began, as the 3 tails began to scream in pain as Naruto absorbed the beast. Any other tailed beast except the 9 tails would have been unconscious by now. I guess the shell of the beast is reducing the effect of the slash, and the 9 tails, because its sheer amount of chakra, would be trouble. But however, Naruto said as the surroundings in the radius of 200 meters started to get very hot, as black flames appeared in Naruto's hands. Open, Naruto said as he created a fire arrow and launched it towards the beast, as there was a huge explosion of black flames. As Mei, who was looking at the fight with wide eyes, was shocked, as a mere human was manhandling a tailed beast. As soon as that was over, the explosion and everything was cleared out, Yagura was barely alive, his entire body burned and bloody. Zetsu, take him, he is still alive. I'll tell them that my last attack completely destroyed him. Zetsu nodded as he and Yagura started to disappear underneath the ground. As Yagura's body, Zetsu appeared a distance away. He's stronger than you expected, Zetsu said as Toby was watching the entire battle. Yeah, his growth is abnormal. I suspect he's currently stronger than Nagato. Zetsu looked at him. Is he stronger than you? Zetsu asked as Toby remained silent. Currently, no. My Sharingan can see the invisible slashes, and I can use my Kamui to phase through them. But as for his domain, that might be a little troublesome. But with the Hashirama self carved into my body, I can heal, and then use my Kamui to escape, Toby said. But if he learns how to control the 9 tails power, it'll be a different case, Toby said. 6 months later, Naruto was in front of the 9 tails as he looked at the beast without any fear. Instead, he was smiling. How long has it been since the last time you met? QB. Naruto asked as the 9 tails grumbled. What are you exactly here for, brat? You're not the same person that you were before. Your chakra has even become more sinister than my own. There's no way that you would just want to pay me a visit out of your good heart, since you don't have one, the QB said as Naruto nodded. I've been learning seals, and there was this seal in particular that allowed me to merge someone's chakra with my own, and while doing so, the stronger soul would win and gain dominance over the body. Naruto said as he flicked his finger, and the seal was cut into small pieces, but Kurama didn't move. Are you implying that your soul is stronger than my own? Kurama said as he growled, as he formed a Biju bomb, as Naruto smirked. You know, Minato created this jutsu to specifically counter your kind. Naruto said as Hugh's Rasengan with black flames around it formed as he threw the Rasengan towards the Biju bomb as the both attacks collided, and there was a huge explosion. Kurama extended his claws to attack Naruto, the boy, but his entire land was cut off as Kurama then received a punch to his face as Naruto pointed his fire arrow towards Kurama. Open, he said as a huge explosion of black flames was there. As inside the seal, Kurama had healed his arm, but there he was barely standing as Naruto smirked. Even after that, you're still standing, as expected of the Nine Tails. Even if you're only half of what you used to be, Naruto said as he brought his hands together. Domain expansion, malevolent shrine, he said as an assault of slashes on Kurama began, as the beast screamed. In order to make the Nine Tails power mine, I have to kill it, and before chakra reappears back in the seal, I have to use the seal to merge its chakra with my own. Naruto thought, as he extended his hand as a huge Rasengan formed. Open, Naruto said as the Rasengan turned black with black flames around it. As the Rasengan got bigger and bigger until it became the size of Kurama himself. This is the end, Kyuubi, Naruto said as Kurama, who could barely stand, saw the huge ball of chakra. When was the last time I was overpowered in a battle? With him, as he thought of Madara, or with him, he thought of Hashirama. I can't believe this brat is already on Sukuna's level. The same Sukuna who had beaten both Hashirama and Madara in battle and forced them to work together in order to beat him. And after absorbing my power, this brat, Kurama thought as the Rasengan hit him, will be unstoppable. He thought as a huge amount of chakra started flowing inside Naruto. As there was a huge seal on the mindscape as the chakra finished entering Naruto, as the boy smiled. As he started to change, he grew 4 arms, a mouth on his stomach, and 2 eyes. One side of his face became mutated. This is it. After I take care of the Akatsuki, you're next. As the scene shifted to Minato was working. 4th Hokage. So guys, this is bringing me the end of the video. Again, if you guys want to see the part 2 of this video, obviously get this video to as many views, many likes, whatever, share it with as many friends as possible. Comment down below what you think of this video, and yeah, until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.